Well, Taylor, obviously it's a home race for you and the team. What can we expect from you this weekend?
Expectations going into a Formula E weekend are always very difficult. I get asked this question a lot, and to give a prediction or expectation is very, very tough. Historically, looking at our package at this track is probably not the best, but I've said that at multiple events this year, which I actually scored a podium at, so I try not to take historical results into the equation of my expectations for the weekend. I hope for a podium. I hope for more points. Of course, I'm trying to solidify top 3 in the championship. And of course, it's Neil McLaren's last race in the championship as well. So for myself in the Drivers' Championship and for the team, they deserve a good send-off and a good result as the last race.
Well, talking about those championships, you're also fighting for second place in the drivers. You've also got the teams and the manufacturers. So I feel like a lot of maths going on behind the scenes to kind of figure out where you need to finish for what races. But it must be amazing in your rookie season to be fighting for those titles.
Yeah, exactly. To be in amongst them kind of sentences and being fighting for second in the championship, I think is great. The maths and stuff, luckily, it's not left down to me. It's for the engineers to do. I try not to get involved with it. It won't change my approach to qualifying or even the races. Of course, every race I try to win and try to do my best. So the numbers will just add pressure or things in my head that I don't need to think about. So I try to avoid that as much as I can and just do the best job possible.
I know at the start of the season you were sort of saying this isn't really a rookie season, you don't feel like a rookie, but how has season 11 compared to your goals going into the year?
I mean, my goals were to score a few points and pick up a podium if I could. I've had 2 poles, and I've been very, very close to a couple of wins, so I think I've excelled my own expectations. I think quite a lot of other people as well. I mean, it's been a pretty good season so far.
And obviously a word on Ollie Rowland. Obviously he won the championship in Berlin, but he's somebody that's been very close to you through your younger career and now into Formula E. You must have been pretty delighted to see him seal the deal in Berlin.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's definitely been the best driver this year. At some points having the biggest gap in the championship that has ever been seen in Formula E, which is obviously very difficult to achieve, so I think he fully deserves it, and of course to know him for a long time as well makes it a little bit better for me, but I mean, he fully deserves the championship this year. He's done a great job.
Well, Ollie, can you start by describing your season for me in 3 words?
Successful, fast, exciting.
And talk us through that title moment in Berlin. Obviously you've had a few weeks now since then to kind of let it sink in, but yeah, how was that?
It was great. Obviously, there was a lot of emotion. Crossing the line, hearing my daughter's radio message was really nice. And realising a dream that I'd had for many years, which is not everybody gets a chance to do that. So obviously it was quite emotional. Quickly switched focus to this weekend, with obviously still a lot on the line for the team. So we'll try and put the most effort we can into making that successful one.
And as we reach the end of the season, obviously there have been a lot of very high highs, maybe some lows. We've spoken about how maybe some penalties have prevented maybe even more silverware for you, which seems crazy because it seems like you've collected so many trophies already this year. But how would you kind of summarise season 11?
Yeah, of course, I probably lost the win in Sao Paulo with the overpower and the restart. Penalty in Miami and Jakarta, which probably took me out of podium contention. But look, it's Formula E, it's up and down. I think it's been, on average, a great season. There's always races anybody can talk about where they were unlucky. But I think we've been, on average, really, really strong. I think the only race that we weren't strong was Shanghai in the rain and Berlin in the rain. And we know it's a bit of a weakness for us. So, I couldn't have expected much more, and I'm super happy.
And talk about the efficiency that you've obviously worked with Nissan on this powertrain. People sometimes forget that when Nissan came back in season 9, it was essentially a fresh start for all of you. It seems like such a big evolution in such a small amount of time for that team.
Well, look, the engineers do the work on the efficiency. They're the ones that design it. They're the ones that get the most out of it. I just get to drive it. So big credit to the team on that side. Of course, we work together on chassis items, making the car perform, tyres, all that sort of stuff. But I have to say a huge credit goes towards the team and the engineers for putting together such a strong package. And we just need to keep pushing and keep improving year on year.
And I've been told to ask you this, but apparently you're the first world champion from Yorkshire. So if you could give me a line on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I'm proud of. I'm proud of my roots. I actually went up there at the weekend doing a bit of filming, so it was nice to be back up there. And I mean, there's lots of champions from Yorkshire, and lots of successful people, so I'm not going to take too much credit, but yeah, it's a nice stat.
Well, Pascal, can you start by telling me your season in 3 words, please?
Dramatic, good and bad.
It's a good mix. And obviously, when we last spoke in Berlin, things didn't quite end in the way you wanted with the fight for the Drivers' Championship. But back in London, you've had time to kind of process that. And there's still a fight for P2 in the championship.
Yeah, our target for this weekend is the teams and the manufacturer championship. We want to win those. That would mean a lot for the team, also for myself, but I think especially for the team. Like a team's championship would be the first one for us, and if we could win both, that would mean that in 2 years we won everything what you could win in Formula E, so drivers, teams and manufacturer ones. And I think the team would deserve that, and therefore we will fight hard this weekend to bring those home.
And it must be nice coming back to a circuit with lots of happy memories, I'm sure. I remember standing in the same media pen with you last year with your World Championship trophy, so lots of good memories.
Yeah, it's funny. Every time I enter a room for the first time, like when I arrived at the airport or when I arrived at the hotel, arrived here in the Excel, every time I have like a déjà vu, and I say, wow, it was really cool memories from last year. So it's great to be back. Obviously this year is a bit of a different situation. The tension in terms of Drivers' Championship is not there anymore, but surely for the other 2 championships.
Yeah, and you started by saying, good and bad, it's kind of describing your season, but what would you maybe describe as one high and maybe one low from season 11?
Well, my favorite part this year was the podium in Berlin, taking my daughter up there, even though it wasn't a win, so I prefer that memory over Miami, the win there. And I think the lows are probably Shanghai and Berlin race 2, where we started from the front, leading the race, and just how the race unfolded, and in terms of pace and in terms of execution, we landed outside of the points, and that is always difficult to swallow, because having a pole position and then not even scoring a point is something you would never expect before the race starts, and that's something we need to work on, and we have a plan what we need to try in the off season to understand the issues better we are facing there, and that's also feeling wise where we lost the championship this year by being super strong most of the time, but also occasionally being not strong at all, and we need to be more consistent at the front if you want to bounce back there.
Well, Sam, can you start by describing your season for me in 3 words?
Very nearly good.
I'll do.
Very nearly good, yeah. So there's been so many occasions where we've been pretty quick, but for whatever reason it hasn't quite come together. So that's been the story.
Yeah. And obviously this weekend, a home race for both yourself and McLaren. What's it like having that extra support in the grandstands?
I mean, it's lovely. It's great. There's a lot of British drivers now in Formula E. Do we notice it a lot? No, but look, we've got extra motivation this weekend, knowing that it's our final race weekend as a team. So we're all raring to go to showcase what we can do and end this thing on a high.
You sort of say end of a chapter for McLaren. Obviously, we don't know what's happening next year with you. You've had an incredible time in Formula E. What is next for Sam Bird, or is it a TBC?
Let's have a good final 2 races, and you never know what could happen in the future.
And obviously it's a big weekend to help with the manufacturers battle. Obviously you're trying to help Nissan beat Porsche. Are you hopeful for this weekend? Is it a good circuit for you and the guys?
It certainly can be. I think last year I made it through to the Jewels. Was on for a decent result, but yeah, I remember I got in a tussle with Daruvala, which ended the race. First race, where did I come first race? 7th, I think. So yeah, we can be fighting. That's absolutely for sure. And firstly, we need to try and come in the top 3 in the teams ourselves. By doing that, we'll almost certainly help Nissan. By doing that, we'll almost certainly help Taylor come in the top 3 in their drivers. So they all kind of come hand in hand.
I don't know if your ears were burning, but Taylor was being very complimentary of you in the press conference, saying that you're the best teammate he's ever had in motorsport, and that you've been there for him both as a teammate on track, but also off track, and helping him obviously through his rookie year. What's it been like working with Taylor this year?
He's the best rookie that Formula's ever seen, isn't he? He's been superb, quick, hungry, talented, and he deserves all the success, and he's got a really, really bright future.